In physics, the law of motion states that an object in motion remains in motion unless acted upon by an external force. Right now, the Democratic Republic of Congo is in motion towards what could be a catastrophic outcome. The M23 rebellion and its allies are advancing at an alarming rate, capturing city after city, securing mineral-rich lands, and leaving the Congolese army, mercenaries, and even regional forces struggling to mount an effective defense. This rebellion, like others before it, is not a simple internal conflict. It is a war with deep roots, both internal and external. History tells us that this is not the first time such an advance has happened. In 1996, the Rwanda-backed Alliance for Democratic Forces for the Liberation of Congo, ADFL, marched across the country and toppled Mobutu, installing Laurent Kabila as president. But when Kabila turned against his Rwandan backers, another rebellion swiftly emerged to unseat him. He survived, but only with the intervention of Angola, Zimbabwe, and Namibia. Kabila, for all his autocratic tendencies, had a vision for a sovereign Congo, apparently. He was assassinated, and with him perhaps died the chance for Congo to chart its own destiny. Fast forward to today, and history is repeating itself. The current president, Felix Tshisekedi, initially sought peace. He visited the capitals of all 9 neighboring countries, offering an olive branch and a vision for regional cooperation. But his efforts were derailed by forces beyond his control. The M23 rebellion has resurfaced, armed, disciplined, and well-equipped, raising the question, who is behind this, and to what end? Congo is too precious to be left alone. Its soil is packed with minerals that the modern world cannot function without. Coltan for smartphones, cobalt for electric car batteries, gold, diamonds, uranium, the list is endless. And these minerals are found in the very territories that the M23 and other armed groups are fighting over. Is this just a coincidence? Or is it a calculated strategy by external forces to ensure Congo remains too unstable to fully benefit from its own wealth? The idea of breaking apart the DRC is not new. Talk of an independent Eastern Congo has been whispered for decades. Now that the North Kivu and South Kivu are falling under rebel control, and if Uganda extends its military reach into Ituri, a province also rich in resources, then an Eastern Congolese Republic could emerge. It could be a resource-rich, tightly controlled satellite state serving foreign interests. And let's be honest, this wouldn't be the first time African nations were carved up for the benefit of external players. And what happens if Congo itself falls? A weak or collapsed DRC would destabilize its 9 neighbors: Rwanda, Burundi, Uganda, Tanzania, Zambia, Angola, Central African Republic, South Sudan, and the Republic of Congo. Already, in Burundi, a new rebel movement with a manifesto strangely similar to M23's has emerged. Could this be the beginning of a domino effect? Could other resource-rich African nations be next, as we have seen in the past? History has shown us that rebellions in Africa, especially in resource-rich areas, are rarely just internal struggles. Think of the civil wars in Angola, Liberia, Sierra Leone, all fueled by foreign-backed interests seeking control over diamond and oil. Think of Libya, where Western intervention turned Africa's wealthiest nation into a war zone. Now the same game is playing out in the DRC. The question is, who benefits? To understand Congo's suffering, we must ask, who is playing chess with African lives? The Rwandan government has long been accused of backing M23 for access to Congo's minerals. Uganda, too, has been implicated in past conflicts over Ituri's gold. Western and Asian powers, whether through direct involvement or through their multinational corporations, have vested interest in ensuring a weak Congo that remains an open mine for the world. Western and Chinese mining companies benefit from cheap, often illegal access to Congolese minerals. The DRC's instability allows them to work with warlords and corrupt officials to extract resources at a fraction of their true value. Let's not just blame outsiders. There are African actors, such as politicians, military leaders, and businessmen, who willingly work with foreign interests to keep the chaos going because it profits them. Names have been named before in UN reports, yet little has changed. So, is this truly an African war or a global war fought on African soil? From a Pan-Africanist perspective, Congo must not be allowed to collapse. It is the heart of Africa, rich in resources, culture, and potential. If the DRC were to stabilize and fully harness its wealth, it could rival any global power. But that will never happen as long as the country remains entangled in a web of foreign and internal sabotage. For Africa to rise, Congo must rise. A Congo that controls its own resources, builds its own industries, and invests in its own people is a Congo that could transform the entire continent. But unless African nations intervene in a meaningful way, the laws of motion will hold. Congo's downward spiral will continue, and one of two bleak outcomes will emerge: either the balkanization of the DRC or the fall of its government. Either way, Africa loses. What do you think? Is the DRC heading towards collapse, or is there still hope for a different future? Share your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.